What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. We're here with the Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin launch press conference. And basically, I have some thoughts on Anthony Joshua and this fight and the fact that Derrick James is his new trainer. So, without saying much more, let's get into it.
10 years this year since the professional debut against Emmanuel Leo. And I know AJ never wants the accolade or the pats on the back, but we know that British boxing, many of us in this room here today, broadcasters, media, certainly myself and our business, wouldn't...
Let me say this. It's very weird to see Derrick James up there with Anthony Joshua. Like that, let me just point that out there real quick.
Be in the position it was without the job that Anthony Joshua has done for British boxing. Over the years, a tremendous ambassador, a role model, inspired so many of the next generation to increase participation at grassroots level, to inspire professional fighters to go on and see them flourish in the world of boxing today, financially, in terms of legacy and big nights that have been paved through this man to my right. Two-time world heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, and now back to the O2 Arena, the Lion's Den, scene of so many great moments. Of course, the epic fight against Dillian Whyte, the World Heavyweight Championship against Charles Martin, the defence as well, but over 6 years...
we get it.
Yeah, just been in the gym working, waiting.
Take us back to that night in November against Dillian Whyte. You surprised a lot of people. Not many had heard of you before that fight. In American boxing and the circuit, everyone knew what a talent you were. You've obviously watched the fight back. You still believe you should have been victorious that night, and I guess you believe there's a lot more to show in the arsenal of Jermaine Franklin. We go to a new member of Team AJ, Derrick James. Welcome. Exciting times, a new big heavyweight in the stable. Congratulations, trainer of the year last year. Anthony out in Texas with you. It's been a good start to camp, a quick visit back, but looking forward to April the 1st.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think that the world hasn't seen the best in Anthony Joshua, especially with the guy that I've been working with in the gym. And I know that Jermaine Franklin's a really good fighter, so I take it very serious, and I know Anthony's taking it very serious. And so, you know, he has a lot to prove, and I think that he will be, you know, he'll be the guy he's supposed to be out there the night of the fight.
We'll see.
Obviously, there's questions to be answered by some people, but we believe as a team, and I'm sure you believe as well, this is one of the best, if not the best, heavyweights in the world. Is it about making a statement on April the 1st? Is it about just getting the victory by any means necessary? What do you expect from Anthony in the ring that night?
I think that it's so much about Anthony being the fighter that he wants to be and he needs to be, because it's all about him. It's not about anybody else. It's not about anything else. It's about his legacy that he's trying to prove and improve on. And at the same time, it's us building and for him to be the best version of himself that night. And I think that with the time we have, and then 3 months is not a lot, but it depends on what level you're working on. So if you're working on a high level, and he's a very intellectual fighter, he can do it. He's maintaining.
I don't know. There's something about the way that Anthony Joshua was sitting there. Like, he looked like he don't even want to be there. And I'm just keeping it real. Like, just from the little clip I saw on Twitter earlier, and then now he just has this look and energy about him that I can't help but feel all the way from here. And he really looks like he wants nothing to do with this fight, this press conference, or none of that. But let's continue.
I understand everything I'm asking him to do.
Obviously, you've been there up close and personal so far. What have you been most impressed with from this young man? Obviously, great hand speed, great combination punching and power, all of those things. You've seen that up close.
How you going to ask him a question and then answer the question at the same time? Let him answer the question.
Yes, I have, and I think that he's been great. I won't talk about what I'm most impressed with, because I mean, you know, that's a giveaway. But he's a great fighter, man. Great athleticism, great foot movement, great and very intellectual. First and foremost, I think that he understands his sport and understands what I'm asking him to do. But his hand speed is great, and I'm very interested and can't wait to keep going.
Well, thank you, Derrick. Look forward to seeing you in the corner April 1st. AJ, welcome back. Been in this room many times before. A really interesting moment in your career now. for the first time, and I think this will be the 13th fight, and without the World Championship belt on the line, 12 defences or challenges with the world title. Pressure off, pressure on. How are you feeling ahead of this fight, April 1st?
Serious, focused, locked in. It's a serious fight, good opponent. I respect all my opponents.
How many times have we heard that?
If he had the belt style, I'll take him the same way, and if he doesn't have the belt style, I've got to take him the same way. I've got to give the man his respect because he's coming to fight, and that'll make me keep my feet on the ground and take him seriously.
Obviously, the run has been incredible, and it's
Like, I'm sorry, it's like he, like, even like look at the look on his face. It's like he's saying shit that, like, he strikes me as the type of guy that says things that it sounds good, not that he actually really feels that way, or he says things that people want to hear because it sounds good for like the environment and the situation, but not that he actually feels that way. It sounds like a speech that he just wrote or something. Like, I don't know. The thing is, I've lost faith in this guy a while ago, but I'll talk about that a little later.
It's been over 6 years since we've been at the O2 arena. I won't reel off the opponents. I've done it a million times. But going back to that venue, I remember when you boxed Emanuele Leo, you know, you turned up, and I remember he had that Italian tracksuit on, and I thought, oh, he looks serious. And he took care of him and Baktov and Kevin Johnson and Gary Cornish and Dillian White and Charles Martin and Dominic Brazil as well. But good to be back there as well. Unbelievable atmosphere, the Lions Den, everything's familiar, and looking forward to boxing in London again at the O2.
You know, I don't really mind where I box, if I'm honest with you. It's just a blessing to be involved in the sport, be working. It's another night at work. It's been a long time on the road, fighting for championship belts, defending them, challenging people. I think it's 12 fights back-to-back, championship fights. Been challenging. And as you said, like, you've seen the development from Emanuele Leo up till now. And I've always like tried to adapt my style, do many different things, because in this sport, especially heavyweight boxing, it's about longevity. There's obviously the side of it where it's a lion's, like the jungle, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you have to adapt and understand that it's a sweet science where it's about hitting and not getting hit as well. So that's probably where you might have seen a different change in the way I try and approach certain fights. But with Derrick here, he's got some tricks up his sleeve for sure, and we're looking forward to April.
How's that been out in Texas? I've told people here today that it must be nice for you to go to the cinema and for a coffee and to the mall, and you said, I've done none of that. I haven't been out. You know, I'm just training hard.
Why would he
be doing that? It's a new surrounding for you. It's exciting. It's something very different.
It's not. I ain't seen anything. I'm not there for anything else. I'm a serious person, innit? I'm not there for anything else, really. But one thing for sure, though, is like, throughout my career, I think this is probably the most serious time I've taken it.
Oh my God.
In terms of like my food, my sleep, the way I'm training. Like, I study the game, and I'm just, everything I've learned, like, me and Jermaine could chop it up and talk boxing for hours. Like, everything I've learned about boxing, I'm always putting it into another camp. So everything I've been through, positive, negative, I'm using it to fuel this camp here. So I'm not really there to like go out for coffees and talk about bullshit. I'm there to fucking work and put my head down and get ready for a fight.
Do you feel like a seasoned pro now?
Sorry about my language.
I'm sorry. He just, like, I don't know. And mind you, I'm not going to say I used to look up to him, but I had a very high level of respect for Anthony Joshua. And, like, now, honestly, like, everything that comes out of this man's mouth just seems mad corny to me, to be honest with you. But let's...
As well, but, yeah.
Do you feel like a seasoned pro now?
Nah, I still feel fresh and young. I still feel really fresh and young, yeah, not like a seasoned pro. As I said, I adapted to certain fights, so I didn't take crazy punishment. So at this stage of my career, I'll be like, shit, I've taken so much punishment. I'm war-torn. I still feel fresh.
Where does the desire come from, and what is the desire? Obviously, I know you love to fight.
Money. I like making money. Straight up.
See, this is what I saw earlier. Go back.
I like making.
Well, all right, let's go back.
I still feel fresh.
Okay.
Where does the desire come from, and what is the desire? Obviously, I know you love to fight.
I like making money. Straight up, like, this is a prize fighting sport. Like, I've been broke. My family's been broke. I know what this shit means, and I do it, like, because I'm good at it, and I hustle hard. And when it's all said and done, no one will care about me no more. So I've got to make the most of it while I'm here.
Okay, I was going to save this for pretty much after the video, but I have to say it now. I feel compelled to say this now. This man said, Eddie Hearn asked him, where does the desire come from? And this dude said, money. That he likes to make money, and his career, because this is prize fighting, his career is just about money moving forward. And to be honest with you, I kind of got that vibe from Anthony Joshua 2 fights ago. He strikes me as the type of fighter that he's more so into the celebrity of boxing than he is to the craft and the passion and the art, the sweet science of boxing. And I mean, look, anything that you do in life, obviously you want to take care of the finances. Like, you, of course, you want to make sure you're financially taken care of, but at the same time, at this level, like, I shouldn't be hearing that from this guy, because he's saying one thing, like, yeah, I'm keeping my head down and I'm focused on the craft and I'm not here for that, blah, blah, blah. But then you're saying you're only going through this because of money. And again, he just strikes me as the type of fighter that he's in the twilight of his career. And that response, that answer really just tells me that he's on his way out. Because the minute you're doing something for the money and you're not doing it for the love anymore, like, I'll give you an example of another heavyweight, Derrick Chisora. You could tell that despite all of the L's that he's taken, he fights because he loves to fight. It's not about the money with Derrick Chisora anymore. He fights because that's what he loves to do. And you could just tell, like, you watch his interviews, he says that. Like, he said that on IFL that, you know, they should give belts just based off of, like, if you go to war. Like, he was like, they should have a war belt. And then, like, that belt is specifically for guys who get in the ring and they go to war. Like, Anthony Joshua just doesn't have that anymore. And I'm not going to front like I know his career inside and out. But it's like, I've seen enough of his interviews. I've seen enough of his fights to kind of tell the difference between his energy before and his energy now. And I feel like Usyk and Ruiz took something from him that he never got back, whatever that is. And I did lose a lot of respect for him, and I feel like I've lost a bit more respect for him after he said that. I mean, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of these fighters, they want to be Floyd, and it's like he's trying to be Floyd by saying that. And the thing is, Floyd never lost. Floyd always used to lock in, and Floyd loves to box. So you could just tell. The only reason why Floyd is doing all of these exhibitions now and stuff like that is because he loves the sport. That's what he loves to do. Like, yeah, he calls himself Money Mayweather, but in reality, that's just on the outside. But on the inside, it's because he truly loves the sport. Facts.
And you're still in love with the sport of boxing? I mean, you've given so much back.
Stop
I know
lying.
it did for you as
Stop
a
lying.
kid.
Well, there's a difference. So
See?
What happened is, people say, like, question where people's heads at. Like, is his head in the game? But, like, that's one thing. I think waking up every day is just a normal everyday thing, right? You don't
Nigga
think
couldn't
about it.
even
So
answer
going
the
to
question.
The gym for a fighter is just
Like, he asked you, did you fall in love with the sport? Yes or no? He couldn't even answer. So he's just going on these long tirades. Like, you doing all of this talking, but what are you really saying? What he's really saying is no. Or yes, he has fallen out of love with the sport. Pretty much. To me, I mean, you could just tell. He wouldn't be there for
normal
free.
everyday thing. So many fighters go to the gym every day, but there's a difference when you put your heart into it. And I've had to kind of get rid of a lot of distractions and things in my life so I can put my heart back into the game, because I always built businesses outside of boxing because of the fear that, you know, going back to square one. So I've always tried to build an empire, so when it's all said and done, I'll never be able to look back and say I made stupid decisions. But I made a conscious decision last year to step back and just put my heart into boxing and nothing
Basically,
else.
he
So, yeah,
doesn't
I've
love
got
boxing anymore.
Definitely got.
And mind you, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is what it is. Sean Porter said the same thing towards the end of his career, that he wasn't in love with the sport. Like, his reasoning for doing it wasn't out of love. It was out of, I don't want to say necessity, but it wasn't because, oh, I love boxing so much. Like, nah, and he's in the same space. I mean, it is what it is, but, like, just be honest. Like, don't go on these long tirades and speeches and stuff like that. Just answer the damn question.
But that fire going again.
And that's important for a fighter to have that. You know, you've achieved so much. You've got the belts. You've got the legacy. You've made money in the sport. your heart has to be in it. You know how dangerous the
Yeah,
sport
that's what I
is.
say. It's not the mind. It's not just the mind, like where your head's at. It's your heart.
Your heart's not in it, bro.
It's like being in a relationship. If your heart ain't in it, it's no good. You just wake up with your.
You could just tell, like,
your
look at him,
partner
like
every morning, but if your
he's
heart's
just
in it,
there,
it's a
but he's not
different
really
kind of
there.
relationship. So,
Nah.
yeah, with that being said, the relationship you have with your job, the relationship a fighter has with their sport, they need to have their heart in it if they want to get to the top.
Talk about this man on my left before we wrap up. You were there at ringside. We were talking throughout the fight. But you were impressed with what you saw. A smart fighter, good defence, good tank, good engine, good chin. This is a real test.
Yeah, I watch him. I compare him to some old school fighters. I compare him to, we compare him to fights that we've watched back in the day to now. You know, people feel like boxing's based on popularity, but it's not. It's based on skill and talent, and he's got a lot of talent and a lot of skill, and he's building himself up the ranks. So credit to him. Good luck to him. Looking at the Andrew Ruiz fight, no excuse, but I think looking at that, you could see from the ring walk that something weren't right. But I've never come up and said, "Oh, this is the problem and this is why." So
something ain't right with you now. He's lucky he's only fighting like Jermaine Franklin instead of a more tougher opponent, in my opinion. You want to talk about having been to the top? You have been at the top, and then most recently you flopped, and it's just like, I don't know, I'm gonna just finish this out and then I'll give my real thoughts.
This is when you watch them fights on TV is one thing, but when you step in the ring with me, it's another thing. So you can watch as much as you want, but until you face me, you'll never know what it's like. And that's the same with him. I can watch as much as I like of him, but until I see him in the ring in front of me, it's going to be a different case. So good luck to him in his preparation. I'll be doing my part, and I know he'll do his part, so we can put on a spectacular show for the viewers of The Zone. If you haven't signed up, make sure you sign up, because this is going to be a great fight.
And last question, when you make that ring walk and going into the fight, with all the pressure that you've had over the years, is it just another fight? There's a lot of people saying that a lot is on the line for you on April 1st, but for you it's just business as normal. There is pressure in this fight.
No pressure. Never like, my own expectations is my pressure, but pressure's like, as I said, being broke, worrying about your bills. That's pressure. Like, look at what's happening in Syria and Turkey, and like, the earthquake that's happened. Being in that environment's pressure. Me going to fight and going to the gym's a blessing. No pressure on my side.
Well, I can't wait to see you back in the ring. April the 1st, live on The Zone around the world from the O2 Arena. Tickets on sale now, going very quickly. They won't be available for long at all. I want to thank everybody for attending today. Thank you for AJ and Derrick James for flying in from the States, as did...
All right. Perfect image. I never felt that Derrick James was, or rather Anthony Joshua was the right fit for Derrick James. When the news came out that Anthony Joshua was making his rounds and going to different gyms and, checking the terrain as far as who could possibly be his next trainer, and this is before he started training with Robert Garcia, I thought that he should have trained with Ronnie Shields, because Ronnie Shields trains fighters that are heavyweights, and the particular style of his fighters I feel like would be a better fit for Anthony Joshua. I think Derrick James, so his stable of fighters is Errol Spence, as far as marquee fighters, Errol Spence, Jermell Charlo, and Frank Martin, and they all share very similar styles. If you really look at Errol Spence fight, you look at Jermell Charlo fight, and you look at Frank Martin fight, you'll notice that they're not the same, but there are some similarities. And I don't think Anthony Joshua sticks out like a sore thumb, like when you put him up next to these guys. I don't think his heart is in it. I don't think, his head is in it. I think he's really an embarrassment to Derrick James, to be honest with you. Like, I feel embarrassed that Derrick James really has to be with this guy. And mind you, this is coming from somebody that actually heavily supported Anthony Joshua. Like, there are so many fights that he's had that I'm like, yo, I want him to win. I'm pulling for him. Even though Deontay Wilder's from America, there was a time where I was like, yo, if he fought Deontay Wilder, I would still root for Anthony Joshua, because there are certain things that he would say in interviews and his, persona and demeanor. It spoke to me, at a certain level for me as a person. And again, the last, year and a half, I just really, just kind of like Deontay Wilder, like I don't like either of them anymore, to be honest with you. There are other fighters that he could have fought rather than fighting, you know, Jermaine Franklin. But then again, when you're coming off 2 losses, you're going to try to get your confidence back up. And I guess he's trying to do that with Jermaine Franklin. And, you know, to me, to be honest with you, I don't think this is a good fight. I don't think that he's a good fit for Derrick James. I'm going to watch the fight anyway just to see. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe he'll walk in the ring and we'll see a new look Joshua, and then maybe this is the fight that he needs to get his confidence back up. So if he fights someone else, you know, down the line, it'll be the Joshua of old rather than the Joshua of recent years that we've seen. But anyway, so those are my thoughts. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Good luck.